Hello, good morning. It's Wednesday, so it's playtime, and I've decided today we are going to play with poly plates because I shared that poly plate poly plate card last night on Facebook and Insta, and I got lots and lots of nice comments, and everyone said it's not that easy to do. It is. So we're going to play with, I've got I'm trying to remember what this one is. It is the mini rectangle. I've got some dripping paint. I'm not sure if we're going to use that or not, but we will see. And it's about the same size, so it'll look pretty cool. Maybe. And I've got our lovely poppies from last week. So that's what we're going to play with today. I do think that'll look quite nice. So I'm going to do one. I'm already changing my mind what I want to do. So I have got, would look better on a square card. Anyway, you can tell my mind's already going right. I want to do this. Morning, Jackie. So let's get going, shall we? Because I'm off already, aren't I? I'm already thinking. So there we go. I've literally cut myself 2 5x7 cards because I thought, you know what, I'll show you how easy it is to do poly plates with ink and oxide. But then I found that dripping paint, and well, we might change our plan. So I'm going to roll my sleeves up a bit. Maybe not. It's chilly in here. I'm going to take that off there for now because we're going to concentrate on our poly plates first. So our lovely poppy can pop over there for a minute. Pop that on there. And I'm just going to give it a quick spritz because, you know me, I'm a bit naughty and I never quite know. Yeah, see, that had loads of gubbins on it, yak and dust and stuff. So I'm just going to take that off, give it a quick spritz, quick wipe over. It does, Brusho does stain your poly plates. It doesn't do any damage to them because there's nothing in Brusho to make any harm. But it does stain them. It's like mine stained, and that'll be from anything with a red pigment in it, because it's like, you notice mine's slightly pink. Yeah, so mine will just be whatever ink I was using on it. Could be distress ink, could be oxide, it could be either. Morning, Rachel. So I have a lovely clean-ish poly plate. I am going to start with, I always start with distress inks, don't I? I'm actually going to start with oxides today. So you can tell I want to do a sunset, sunrise, whichever one we want to go for. So I've got my 3 colours. I've got a yellow, an orange and a red. Really doesn't, just notice my ink wasn't on there. That's not good, is it? Really doesn't matter which inks they are, as long as you've got a yellow, an orange and a red. So you've got that lovely graduation of colour. I know, big words today, not good. So 2 ways of doing your oxides if you want to do a sunset, sunrise, ombre. Yeah, so I'm going to show you, actually I'll show you them. I will show you them and then we'll come back and play. So I'm going to ink up all in my yellow because I always want a base colour. Yeah, so if I get any bits that are missing, it's going to turn out yellow, and that's not a bad thing, is it? It means I've got a colour there. I'm going to give it a quick spritz. And we're running low on water. I might have to put an SOS call out. I need some water. See if he responds. I'm just going to pop that down there. It's dead easy this if you've got a stamping platform to drink, so it always goes in its same place. If you haven't, you just have to line it up. Right, so I've got my yellow. I'm going to give that a quick wipe. There we go. I'm going to take my orange. Again, colours really don't matter. And I'm going to pop this across. Now, can you see I'm going about 2/3 of the way up? I'm going to move that to one side, and then I'm going to spritz again. And the reason I'm spritzing is because I want it to blend, well, not blend, merge together. Yeah, so I'm going to turn this over. Oh, I'm going to do a sunrise. No, sunset. I can never remember which way it is, if it's darker at the top or bottom. I want it darker at the top, basically. There we go, so we've just lined them up there. So that's our yellow and our orange. Give it a quick wipe. And I'm going to do my red. I'm loving this little bit here. And you'll notice I'm not drying that because I want it to stay wet. So when my colour hits it, it goes, yep, instead of getting all mixed in together. Morning, Mum. It is sunny out there, isn't it? It's a bit chilly though in the shade. But I'm not moaning. It's a little bit windy as well, so my washing will dry. So again, I'm just giving it a nice little spritz. And I'm just lining it up. Ooh, nowhere near. There we go, that's better, isn't it? And you can see, because it's wet, and even though I've only put ink on this top bit, I spritzed my whole poly plate, it makes the whole thing move again. Yeah, because that's what we want. We want that movement. We want it, yeah, we want it to do what Distress Ink does and move and mix together and just be fun. So this time you can see I'm already starting to get bits of my red down here. I don't want them to come all the way down. So I'm going to lift it that way because I want anything that's loose, any loose water, to go oik that way. There we go. Woo! I nearly splattered it again then. That would not have been a good thing, would it? So I'm going to take that off. Give it a quick wipe. And then we're going to give this a quick dry. But you can see, can't you? Look at that lovely, lovely sunset, sunrise, whichever one it is. And it always looks amazing when you do it in oxide, because as it dries you get those bits where it's gone really chalky, bits where you get the brighter colour. Looks so cool. Downside of spritzing it 3 times though is your paper is going to get very, very wet. Yeah. If I turn it over, there you go, you can see how wet my paper was. So it's come through on the other side. Nearly. Told you it was a wet one. Right, there we go. So, oxide, layered. So we've done 1, wiped our poly plate, really important. 2, again, had to wipe our poly plate. And then we did our 3rd. Now, some of you, like me, can't be bothered doing all that cleaning. I mean, I had to wipe my poly plate 3 times. That's just rude. So, on this one, I'm going to add it all to my poly plate in one go. Now, if it was an ink, not a problem. I'd just whack it all on there. It's not oxide. We want to protect our oxides a little bit because they will contaminate each other and our inks will, well, they'll just get messed up and we don't want that. Our distress oxides will get messed up and we don't want that. Our inks, they're not that bothered. Yeah? They don't get contaminated as much unless you're going between, you know, if you put pink onto a yellow pad, then obviously you get contamination. But if you did, I'm trying to think, yellow onto a pink pad, you don't notice it. If I did that with my oxide pads, you would notice it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to grab, oops, I've just pressed the wrong button. I'm going to call out for some water. I'm going to add it all basically to one plate. So let me get my Facebook back up because I pressed the wrong button. Some days I am dangerous. Oops. Why is it I'm all fingers and thumbs when I want to go quick? So for this one I'm going to start off exactly the same. I'm back. I can see you all again now. I think. There you go. Right. I'm going to start off exactly the same. I'm going to start off with my yellow. And I'm going to colour the whole thing in. Yeah, it's dry. Never ever onto a wet poly plate. Make sure it is dry. So even if you clean it, just give it a quick wipe to make sure it's nice and dry. because you basically don't want water on your ink pads, do you? No. There we go. Right, so I've got lots and lots of yellow on there. And now I want my orange. So, I know you will ask me, but honestly, colours don't matter in this at all. I've got fossilised amber, so that does make a really nice base layer. Carved pumpkin and barn door. But as long as you've got a yellow, an orange, and a red or a purple, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to grab this time a bit of tissue, a blending tool, anything like that. You could use your brayer if you wanted to. I'm going to move that over there. And we're just going to add. And slowly, if I put it on top of my card, you'll be able to see, won't you? There you go. Can you start to see I'm getting my orange in there? And this is where you've got a bit more control over those layers. Yep, so I've got my yellow, I've now got my orange. Yeah? Let me just go in a little bit more. There we go. And then we're going to grab our red. Whoops. Throw my ink pads around again. I didn't fold up my tissue very well there, did I? And now I'm going to pop my red on. So I'm going to do it across the top here. And I might even bring it down. I'm going to bring it down this side, so when it's stamped on my card it comes down that side, because it's mirror image, remember, when you're inking up. There you go. And if I don't like that, because I've gone a bit heavy handed, I'm going to go back to my orange, and I'm going to find my orange again. There it is. I'm just going to pop a little bit more here, because could you see that red had gone a bit too much just down there? There we go. Right, I'm happier with that now. And then we're going to do exactly the same. I'm going to spritz it. You can stamp it if you want it like that, but I've taken a load of my yellow off there, so I'm just going to add a little bit in. And I know I'm safe because I've not put any of my orange near it, so there we go. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Yeah, so you can start to see all my lovely colours in there. Let's give it a quick spritz. You can see them better now, can't you? So we've got our red, our orange, and our yellow. Got a bit of tissue. And we're just going to pop it down on here. Just like that. Give it a bit of encouragement. And then again, I'm going to lift it up here. I don't know why I didn't get any ink in that bit, but that's okay. There we go. So again, we've got our lovely little ombre using our distress oxides. Now, see, that one's a bit quicker, isn't it? Time for that one is getting it right on your plate. See, mine's going yellow now, my plate, because I've done lots and lots of fossilized amber. I'm going to give that a really quick little spritz, dry. I was a bit heavy-handed with my water, which is why I've got bubbles and stuff everywhere. Not quite as intense, this one, because you're not putting as much ink on, whereas you do with that one. Yeah, this one's more muted, but you still get the same effect. They're both still lovely. It's both still usable too. Again. I need a little button to press, don't I, so that we get music when I'm drying things. Nicola's watching from Turkey. It's reminding her of sunsets. You know, you can go off some people sometimes. You know, I'm only joking. There you go. Right, I think They are both dry, but you can see, so those are using our oxides. I'm going to do exactly the same now using our ink. You've seen me do the ink so many times because I just love it. It is really, really easy to do. I've turned myself yellow. It's not a good thing, not a good look. There we go. I'm going to get rid of that tissue because you just know I'm going to get it everywhere. So inks is way easier, so much easier. We're going to get our yellow. Oh, I've actually got purple on this one. Ooh. So for this one, I've got fossilised amber, carved pumpkin. Oh, same base too. And then I've got a bit of seedless preserve. Really intense sunset we're having on this one. So all over. Helps if I put it on top of the whites. You get to see it a bit better, don't you? There we go. So all over with that one. I'm going to grab my pumpkin. Pumpkin's alive. We're going to come in with our pumpkin. Again, make sure you kind of do it hiddle-dee-piddle-dee because you don't get straight line sunsets, do you? Well, you might do, I suppose. Every sunset's different, isn't it? And then we're going to have a little bit of our purple seedless preserve up at the top. Oops. She says a little bit and then gets a bit heavy-handed towards the end. And then I'm just going to spritz it. Yep. And then we're going to splat it. So turn it over. There we go. I was trying to line it up. Not happening, was it? There we go. And if I lift this one again, we've got all this really dark stuff here, so we're going to flip it that way. We don't want to be flipping it the other, otherwise you get a right mess. There we go. Not quite as intense that orange, but it still works, doesn't it? There you go. And if you wanted to, you could always mask off like a moon or a sun in the background. Hang on a minute. Buddy? No, I could hear him hanging out the washing. I'm just going to ask for some water. But yeah, if you'd add like just a little 1-inch circle, pop that down so you don't get your colour. Would look cool, wouldn't it? So we've done 3 really quick sunsets, sunrises. I'm not quite happy with this one. I want a bit more orange in the middle, I think. So I'm going to stop drying it. A bit too late now. Where's my orange gone? I need a bit more colour, I think, in the middle. So all I'm going to do is go in and put a bit more orange in. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of red, so bear with me 2 seconds, because I've done a bit of a big jump. So, and I've ended up with this really dark line. I don't like it. So, trying to find a red. Not the best one. Oh, that'll do. I'll go with a bit of picked raspberry. There we go. I'm just going to spritz it again. You'll notice I've not added anything down here because I'm quite happy with the bottom bit. It's just the top bit I wasn't quite happy with. So I'm going to come and pop it back on again. There we go. I can already tell I'm happier with that one now. And again, I'm going to my dark side. I'm embracing the dark side. There we go. See, I'm happier now. I'm a lot happier now. Jackie likes her sunsets on holiday. Yeah. Right, there we go. Right, see? We fixed it. I had a little whoopsie. And now I'm much happier with my colours. It's just been a bit more drying, sorry. There you go, it just goes to show though, it's so easy. If you're not quite happy with your colours, just layer it over the top again. Morning, Maxine. Just morning. I know we're later today, aren't we? I did one of them, you know, when you think, oh, I've got an extra half hour here, I'll just go and do that, and then you end up doing more jobs, don't you? And your one quick 5-minute job turns into 3 different 15-minute jobs. Before you know it, you've lost nearly an hour. Anyway. Right. So, we have done... yeah, so I'm not alone there, Rachel. Thinking, oh, it'll only take me a few minutes to do that, but then it's the other jobs that you didn't encounter, you didn't think you were going to encounter along the way. So we have got 3 really nice little sunsets going on there with basically our little mini rectangle polyplate. I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. And 3 inks. So whether it was oxide or ink, we've still got great looking bases for our cards. Yeah, so I'm going to have a bit of a play now, because I did say before, I don't know where I've put it, there it is. Check this out. Our dripping paint fits beautifully, and then imagine that over the top. Yeah, you see where I'm going with this now. So I think I'm going to go with that one actually. Should we go with that one? I think we'll go with this one to start with, because we can always play with the others. So I'm going to start off with this. I've got my dripping paint. Didn't want to come off its stamp sheet. There we go. Sometimes I feel like I need to be Hercules to get some of the stamps off. Right, so I've got my dripping paint. I think we're going to go with, I think I might actually mask a little bit off, because at the moment if I put that there and I do it in red, can you see all my red? What I might do is just oik it up a little bit, to be fair. No, because then that messes up my border. I'm just going to go for it. Oh, excuse me. Right, so I'm going to go back to my barn door, and remember, this was where we'd laid it up, so we'd done all 3 colours on one polyplate, so you get a more muted tone. So when I come back in this time, I'm going to do my barn door and I'm just going to spritz it, so this is the colour I'm going to get. So when I put that colour on top of there, it should stand out quite nicely. Or I could go in with Seedless Preserve, but I want to try this barn door first, because I think it'll look quite cool. So I'm just going to go ink in. And this time I am going to spritz, but I don't want much. I want enough so it starts to move a little bit, but I don't want too much that it loses its shape. So very, very gentle spritzing, and we're on water rations, aren't we? I must have another spritzer with water in somewhere. I'm just going to turn that over and kind of line him up. I'm going to go up a little bit, but don't tell anybody. I'm just going to pop that on. See, it's enough. I don't know if you can see there. I've got enough so it's moving, so you get a more watercoloured effect, but not enough that it's doing this where it bleeds out the side of my stamp. So it's just about getting the right amount of water. And I'm going to flick it. Dink, dink, dink. Didn't line that up very well. Don't look too closely, will you? How cool's that looking? Yeah? I'm going to wipe my stamp because we might want that again. Okay, let's give it a quick spritz. Now I'm going to give that a quick... Oh. I'll have to have my tissue on my stamp. I'm going to give that a quick spritz, quick dry again. Because we're going to go in and do a bit more to this, but I also need to get my flower on there, my poppies on there. So I'm not quite sure what I've done with them. I've just had them in my hand, haven't I? There we are. And what I'm trying to do is make sure this is really dry, because I'm going to throw some black ink on over this now, and I want it to really stand out. I don't want it to be affected by the oxide we've got on here. So there's me poppy. I'm going to take this off here. Oh, she said I can't get it off. Come on, I know you want to. Thank you. Put our poppy back on. Now this little poppy is going to come down here, just like that, and you can see we've still got all that lovely dripping paint. Yep, and we've got that lovely background. I'm just going to use black ink because this just looks stunning, doesn't it, in black. So again, I'm taking my time inking this one up because, well, it's lots of little cogs and dots and things, and you don't want to miss a bit. I'm going to turn that around so it's easier to stamp, and I'm going for about the same border as I've got there. There we go. Oops, I might have just moved that. Oopsie. Hopefully not, because I did have one hand still on it. There we go, right. I'm going to lift that up. There we go. So we've got our lovely little poppies on there. Just make me smile. You know, there's some images when you stamp, I do like a little dance. And obviously I don't have favourites. Honestly, I don't know. Right. So I'm going to want a black pen and a bit of a pencil. Hello. There it is. And then I'm going to want my white pen as well. And I must find that black lid, because I've got a white pen in a black lid. Jackie said it sounds like I do have favourites. Never. I think I do. So I'm going to start off with a bit of shading. So I'm just going to come across the bottom of here. Oops. And up this side. And what we could have done is put a frame around this using our polyplate. But because, one, I've extended it. Yeah, extended is the right word, isn't it? I've extended it. That wouldn't work. But we'll do it on one of the others, actually. Don't know whether we'll do all three, but we'll definitely do a frame, because frames are beautiful when you... So I'm just adding a few little bits around here. You can pull some to the front if you wanted. And added a bit more in there. Right, you can see I could go to town, and I normally do, don't I? Oh, Jackie's got some ATCs. Yay! Get them posted. Not due till the end of the month. The details are in the group. I want to say the theme is spooky. Not quite sure if that's right, so don't quote me on that. If you want to take part in our ATC, go and check it out in the group. I think it is spooky. I think. I've slept since then. See, check that out. Just a little bit of white pen and charcoal pencil, and away we go. Yeah, don't look at where it's really not lined up there, though we will fix that in a minute. No one will notice. If I don't point it out, no one's going to notice it, are they? It's only me that notices stuff like that. that's the thing, isn't it? We're very connected to what we're making and what we're doing, that we notice our little whoopsies. There we go. Right, I'm not going to faff with that too much, but I am, because I'm going to do that bit there. Right, and now Crafty Unicorn started hers. It is exciting, isn't it? It is lovely that we've got our... See, nobody knows now that that wasn't supposed to be there, was it? It is lovely that the ATCs are coming back in. I know I took a couple of months out there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go around our little blobs. And you'll notice I'm not even trying to do straight lines. I am doing wiggly wonky lines. And I'm leaving gaps around our image, because if I don't leave gaps, it's black and black, so you wouldn't see what was image and what was wonky line drawing. I'm going to do a bit of a scribble ribble there and a little scribble ribble there, and then this is where I could go to town now, but I'm not, because we want to do the other one, don't we? Because you're going, you mentioned doing a frame on your poly plates, and I've forgotten how to do that. So we're going to do that, but you get the idea. You go in, you do lots and lots of little dots and drops and things. Just I keep meaning to get me gilding flakes out, because I think this looks amazing with gilding flakes. There we go. Right, I'm not going to faff with that. You get the idea. Nice little sentiment on there, and we have got a quick bish bash bosh, haven't we, on that one? But how cool does that dripping paint look? So we were going to put a frame around one of ours, so which one should we do? I think we'll go with the other oxide one. Yeah, I'm going to go with the other oxide one. So I'm going to take that back off there. It's like doing the okie dokie with stamps today, isn't it? This one's on, that one's not. We're going to pop that down on there. So on this one, I drew a line. Yep, I drew a line around the edge to make my frame. Really is that simple, right? But you know what? We've got our inks. So this time we're going to use our inks to create our frame. Yep, you see me do this loads. I'm going to go back to my barn door. And all I'm going to do is ink up the edge of my poly plate. So I'm going to take it to the opposite side. I'm not going to ink this one, because if I do that, I get all bits I don't want. Whereas if I come on this side, I can, it's at an angle, and I'm just patting very, very gently all the way around. Just like that. I'm just going to wipe that bit off because I've come way too far in. I've got very fat fingers and I'm very heavy handed, so trying to take my ink pad like that doesn't work this way for me, because you can even pop your ink pad down on the side so you know when you're in the right place. Yeah, so can you hear I'm tapping my ink pad on the edge of my plate? Yes, I'm making more of a mess, but that doesn't really matter because I can clean that up. If you want to come in a bit more, you just lay your ink pad down a little bit more. Right, there's that. Where's my lid gone? Oops. Somehow I've managed to there we go. And I'm just going to wipe off my edges, because, well, you know, if I've got that much mess around the edge of my poly plate, when I come to stamp it on, I'm going to have that much mess on my paper too. So, for some reason it don't want to clean up. But it's me, and I'm using red, and I always look like a crime scene after I've used red. So we've got a decision to make now. If this was still wet, I would spritz this, because what's going to happen is, you see how this is lovely and merged into each other? This would do the same. But this is dry, yeah? And I've got all these lovely jagged edges. yeah, all the way around. So that texture we've got on our poly plate is going to transfer if we stamp it without spritzing it. If we spritz it, it's gonna move, yeah. If we don't spritz it, we keep that lovely texture. So we are gonna go just like that. Give it a press. I'm only pressing the edges because guess what? That's the only place I've got ink. So just give it a quick press around edge, dunk, dunk, dunk. And I'm going to take that off very, very carefully. There we go. And we've got a gorgeous little frame around our poly plate. I'm just going to spritz that before I go and put more ink on there. And if you wanted to, you could do more layers. So I might have decided actually I wanted to do my orange and my red for my border. And that'd look fine too. It's got lots and lots of different layers. So I'm going to have to take that off. I keep throwing my stamps around and I should be using them. So we're just going to do exactly the same as what we did before. We're going to pop our little doody bopper on. Now, our dripping paint would look amazing with that, wouldn't it? So if I was to put my dripping paint over the top as well, I'm not. I'm just going to do it straight onto my card today with this one. There we go. I've been a messy monkey, so let's get that off there. Thank you very much. And again, I'm just going to pop it in this bottom corner. There we go. Not sure what I've just knocked off my desk, but it sounded something, didn't it? I think it was a set of some stamping platforms, stamping presses, bases. I'll get my words out at one point. So you can see, can't you? This one, we've got that lovely edge because we've doodled it. This one, we've got it because we stamped it. Do I need to do more on it? I could do, because I could go around and doodle if I wanted to. But it also looks pretty cool, just like that. Again, in with our white pen, a bit of charcoal pencil, and we'd have a beautiful little card really quickly on that one. Yeah? So, we've done 2. We might as well finish off, we might as well go through all 3, haven't we, really? Right, I'm getting very inky though, is my only problem. So, we might come back and do some more on that one in a minute anyway. So I did say you could put lots of layers of frames on, and you can mix up as well. So we've got inks in the background here. I'm going to stick with my inks, so I'm going to go to my picked raspberry because I want to pick up some of this pink, and then we'll go to our seedless preserve again, I think so. So I'm going to come in a bit on this one. I know, I'm being daring. So I said you could layer up your frames as well. So I'm just coming in a bit more. You could use a tissue, you could use your blending tools to put this on. So I am coming quite far in on this one. And I'm going to spritz it. Because whilst I think that'd look quite nice and quite grungy over the top, I also want it a little bit softer. So I'm going to spritz. There we go. So I've got my bubbles. I know I'm good to go. I'm going to turn that around. And if you wanted to, you could take the extra spritz off your stamp base. And if the bottom was still wet, so my polyplate print was still wet, that would then mix and merge with this top layer. But just because my top layer is wet, it's just going to be that one that moves. It will reactivate it a little bit, but not too much. There you go, look, we're getting really dark, aren't we, on this one? Going mystical. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my seedless preserves. There it is. And actually I want my top layer to be quite really bad lining up there. I shouldn't have pointed that out, should I? I do want my top layer to be full of texture like this one. So I'm going to grab my seedless preserve and I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to spritz my next layer. So this one we've layered up so many times, haven't we? What would actually look quite nice if I'd done it off, purposefully done it offset. And that pit raspberry looks really dark, doesn't it? Because it's got all those different colours underneath it. Right, I think that's dry. So we're going to go with our seedless preserve. I want the edge to be really dark. Because that's where we're going with this one. We're going to the dark side. Okay, just keep moving it around. And again, I'm going to clean up the polyplate, my stamp base, because me and my inky pinkies already. Well, they're not pink, they're kind of yellow. They're sunset coloured. And I'm going to whack this over the top. I'm going to try and line it up a little bit better than I did the first time. Or the second time. I've lost how many times we've stamped this one. I'm going to pop it down. Then again, I'm just going to go around my edges, because it's the only place I've got ink. It looks like the front of a book, doesn't it, this one? Doesn't matter which way I pick this up. I'm just going to do it really gently though, because you can hear that polyplate sticking a little bit. There we go, look at that. I'm loving that one. But look how different it is. Yeah? I'm going to town with this one. So what I think I'm going to do with this one is we are going to stamp a black poppy on it, but we're also going to stamp a coloured one as well. Coloured one or two? Ooh, that is the question, isn't it? Ooh, hang on. If we do 1, 2, and then our black one there. There we go. Right, seedless preserve it is. Or Dusty Concord. Ooh, decisions. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look. Because I know this. Seedless preserve is coming out really, really dark. Because think about how many layers of ink we've currently got on there. So it's not coming out seedless preserve colour. It's coming out fossilised amber mixed with picked raspberry mixed with seedless preserve. So I've got a right mixture of colour there. So if I stamp it onto just a scrappy piece of paper, checking there's nothing on there that you can't see. I'm not falling for that again. Yeah. So it comes out a bit pinker than what it's coming out on there. So I think I'm going to go with my Dusty Concord. Oh, that's a bit too blue, isn't it? No. Yeah, I'm going to go Dusty Concord. Put that down there. So I'm going to ink this up. Bearing in mind I've probably still got black ink on there as well. So remember what that looked like, because if you know, suddenly turn it into a dog's dinner, you can remember how beautiful that background was. Oh, something doesn't sound good out there, does it? So I'm going to stamp this one down here-ish. Not really bothered about this coming out perfectly, because we are going to put a black one on there, which is what our eye is going to be drawn to. And if you notice, I've gone down a lot as well. So when we come to stamp the black one, it's going to be there. Yep. I'm gonna do this one again. Would look nice spritzed actually, I think. I'm gonna do another one. I want it to stay on my page, but down towards my bottom. There we go. There we go. And I'm just going to take our black. It's really moody, this one, isn't it? I've turned it from a nice bright sunset to a moody dark one. These are the teenage years, yeah. Right. I should have probably dried that as well. Ooh, I've got blue ink, purple ink everywhere now. And this one is just going to sit right in the middle. Ish. There we go. It's going there. There we go. Oh, that's too dark. Look, I've ruined that now, haven't I? I should have gone with seedless preserve in the background. You get the idea. Yeah, dog's dinner, that one. Not liking it. I'm trying to think how we could fix my dog's dinner. Because you're sat there going, ooh, no, don't like that. Because I'm definitely doing that. Right. And I can't leave it on a dog's dinner, can I? Especially when the other two turned out so well. So what I am just going to quickly do is stamp this onto some white. I'm hoping this fits on this piece. You can tell I wasn't happy with it. Oh, it does just. Oh, just. I'm gonna get that spritzed. I know, don't look at that for the minute because it's dog's dinner. Dog's dinnered. I got carried away. But you could tell that because I was getting carried away with my inks. My inking. Just need this drying off. There we go. Yeah. Give this. I'm hoping if we chop these heads out, what it should do is give us the background. So if I give it a little tiny border, because there's no way of cutting this out neatly, is there? You just want to be somewhere near. There we go. I'm just going around leaving a very small little border. Because I still love my background and I still like the purple on there. What I don't like is that we can't see our gorgeous poppy, our stamped one over at the top. So what we need to do is go and pick it back out. Just like that. And what we're going to do is just highlight his bits as well, his stems. Again, I'm going to highlight these. I'm not worrying about where it goes back onto the white or anything like that. No, I'm not even bothering because I'm going to cut the rest out, aren't I? There we go. But what would look really cool is if we did like the heart in the middle. Yeah, you can see where I'm going, can't you now? Of course, I meant to do it. I didn't make a dog's dinner, honest. You're all laughing at me now, aren't you? Don't blame you. You're going, yep, she's lost the plot. Because I wanted to layer up my poppies. And it just went too much. That's going to go there. I might even, if I was being really good, I might even put these onto black and then layer them up. But I'm determined it's not going in the bin. I'm going to finish it. It might not be one of my favourite cards I've ever made, but you can always recover things. There we go, see? It's starting to come together now, isn't it? And again, I'm just going to go around, cut out my leaf. Leaf's a little bit tricky because you've got the stems coming up and down it as well. Oopsie. There we go. I'll never be beaten by a dog's dinner. She says famous last words. Right. So you can see just by popping it out. Yeah, I thought it was meant to be on top of that one then. The camera does not look the same colour. You can see, can't you, just by popping out, cutting him out, we might have rescued that. And I'd probably put a little like bit of gold or something in there just to finish it off. There you go. I think I've recovered that one. I think so. I keep wanting to move it over that purple. It's because that purple's so dark. Right. So, there you go. But once you've got a sentiment, a bit of ribbon across the bottom and a sentiment on that, you wouldn't. You got there in the end, didn't we? Didn't we, Maxine? Oh, excuse me. So, there you go. There's our three. Do love that dripping paint. It was one of them. I picked it up. It's like, oh, it's the same size. I've never realised that. Though, most of our stamps are kind of, the texture stamps were designed originally for ATCs. So a lot of them are just slightly, either ATC size or just slightly bigger. So would then go to say it will fit that polyplate as well. Anyway, so you can see 3 different polyplates. This one, I'm trying to look at them now, was our oxides one at a time. So fossilised amber, wiped it all down. Next one, wiped it all down. Then that one. This one, we added them all in one go, but we did it carefully and we did it using our tissue or a spritzer, not a spritzer, or your blending tools. So layered it up very carefully, not inked it up. This one, we layered our inks onto our ink pads. We started with our palest and went to our darkest. So oxide, ink, dog's dinner, kind of recovered-ish, maybe. But I do love that poly plate. It does look nice, that poly plate. Right, so after that, yeah. To be fair, looking at it, you wouldn't think it was that much of a dog's dinner. Yeah, it got there. We got there in the end. What would have helped as well is if I spritzed them. I was in two minds about spritzing, but you know, I do need to go and fill my water bottle up. Anyway, that is it from me this morning. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for bearing with me and being kind about my dog's dinner. It got there. I am tempted to finish that one off. Get it all matted and layered up. Because I do like that background. Anyway, thank you for joining me this morning. We are back on Monday. Heads up, it's half term next week, so you have been warned. Just saying. We'll be here on Monday and Wednesday. So 7 o'clock Monday for our monthly Make Monday. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it actually. If you've ordered a calendar in the last 24 hours, they're nearly packed and they're nearly ready to go, so they should be off to you later today. Yeah, I think that's everything. Anyway, thank you for joining me this lunchtime. I know it's a bit later than normal, isn't it? Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.